Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you all for joining our webinar. We hope you are all safe, especially during these times. So everyone in this webinar is very appreciated. And we want to thank you again for joining Universal Processing today. So our webinar topic today will be confidently navigating your business through COVID-19. The meeting starts now at 3 and ends at 4 p.m. So moving on, Universal Processing is a payment processing business founded in 2003 by Saint Hong, who is also a guest speaker today, who will be speaking later on. With his mission to support and serve small, mid-sized businesses, UP is also recognized for its success and was even listed number 500 in Inc.'s 500 awards. Moving forward, today we are honored to have our two guest speakers, Saint Hong and Araya Zhang. Saint Hong, founder and CEO of Universal Processing, has successful years and experience in operating businesses. We also have Araya Zhang, who's the affiliate manager here at UP. As the affiliate manager, she has a lot of connections with business owners in different channels. Next, let's welcome Saint, who will discuss more about the topic, and I'll leave the floor to you.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for the introduction. Hey, everybody, UPers, UP fans, UP supporters. Thanks for coming. Thanks for taking time out of your Friday. It is our honor and pleasure to be giving you some input on what we did, and hopefully we can provide some pointers to help you navigate this crisis. Firstly, the question at hand is, what did Universal Processing do during the crisis? Now, I would say for us, the crisis started in early March, before the lockdown, because there were a lot of opinions on what we should do, when we should lock down, if the government was reliable. We basically listened to all the opinions of management of our UP family, and we ended up locking down, I believe, 1 week in advance of the government lockdown. We decided that the 16th of March would be when we would allow our team to work from home. And I'd say about close to 90% of our team quickly, within just a few days, transitioned to a work from home type of scenario. That was very new to us because, because we are a face-to-face consultancy. We meet small and mid-sized business owners, like some of you listening in today. We, give a smile, shake a hand, and give them our input and our expertise in payment processing to help them operate their business better. Within a very short time, due to this crisis, we had to quickly convert from salespeople and operations people, IT people, marketing people, HR people, customer service people, all being in the office to working remotely from home. And that was actually, I think, just a couple days, 2-3 business days of actual switching, and we figured it out. We had figured out by the Monday after, I believe the 16th of March. Above and beyond that, after we made sure that our team, our UPers were safe, and we circled the wagons and we made sure everybody was situated and could work and was comfortable working, we turned our attention to the next, obviously, the very important parts of UP, our business owners, our merchants, our partners that support UP and use our services. So the first thing that we did was obviously call them or answer their calls, see if they were okay, see if their businesses were safe, see what we could do for their businesses. For example, I personally got calls from some diners, some delis, some restaurants. They wanted online ordering. They wanted some phone swipers in case the power went out, because a lot of people were afraid that all sorts of things could happen. Some of them even requested some N95 masks, because we were sourcing N95 masks at the time. And we basically, at least from my end, free of charge, gave our merchants as much support that as they were asking for, without asking for any compensation, just to make sure that their businesses could function viably. The merchants that were, deeply impacted, they told us, hey, is there going to be a penalty for closing my business? Is there going to be a penalty for closing my business account? We gave them options. We said, you know what, you can seasonally close where we don't charge you any monthly fees. You can close outright altogether. We're not here to kick you while you're down. It's tough for everybody. So we let them close without any penalty. And then after heeding the merchants' calls and after our outreach to the merchants, the next thing we did was we developed a program to help educate the merchants. During this time, the government was implementing or about to vote on the CARES Act. So we set up a help desk. Even before the help desk, we set up a team, an information-based team to teach the entire company and all the members about the CARES Act and the $2.2 trillion infusion, of which a large part was to help the business owners. Being a business, UP being a business that supports small to mid-sized business owners, we were always about people before profits. So we made sure to educate all the people around us. We made sure to realize these business owners have their own families to feed as well, and they have a service that's valuable to society. So we set up this process. We set up the educational seminars to teach our people, and those people set up their own educational seminars to reach out to merchants. And then our operations team, our salespeople, our entire team reached out to the business owners nationwide to help them apply for the emergency relief funds, the EIDL and the PPP. After that, above and beyond that, I believe that within 5 business days that very week, we had sufficiently addressed and implemented plans to help our own people and help business owners out. And I personally, decided that I need to do a little more. So during this time, I reached out to local universities. I volunteered to be a business mentor to help out the aspiring entrepreneurs. There were dozens of entrepreneurs who had business plans and they were planning to open up right after school. And a lot of them were scared. So I sat down for one-on-one seminars. I had multiple Zoom seminars. I had a couple of speaking engagements that I volunteered for to help out the students, the future business leaders of our country. And then, last but not least, concurrently with our transitioning to work from home, concurrently with the help desk initiatives, myself and the executives of the company, we saw what happened in Wuhan. I personally studied many hundreds of hours on what was happening in Wuhan as early as January. So we noticed that there was a shortage of PPE, specifically N95 masks. So early on in March, I had sourced, with Buffon and other people's help at UP, I had sourced a small order of 1,000 masks. And it was tough. There were a lot of restrictions by the US government, by the FDA, and there was a lot of bad media, certain people calling this a Chinese virus and pointing fingers, which was unfair, but that didn't matter. What mattered was we wanted to secure the proper trade routes, the proper logistics to get as many masks into the United States as possible to help fight this crisis. And we used company funds to first, through these trade routes, and sometimes we had to use gray market trade routes to circumvent the US customs to get the masks here. We got the first 1,000 batch of masks. Then the next week we got 2,000 more masks. Then the week after we secured 11,000 masks for a total of 14,000 masks. Buffon was courteous enough, our COO, he was courteous enough to drive himself and me to multiple hospitals. Johnny Yao, I don't know if he's on the call, but he's a very old equity partner and investor of the company. He volunteered his time and his vehicle to drive us to multiple locations. Let me just think about it for a second. We started off at NYU Hospital, Bellevue in Midtown, and dropped quite a few masks. Then we went right into the center of the coronavirus outbreak, which was Elmhurst Hospital in Elmhurst, Queens, and donated more masks. Then a couple weeks later, we went up to the Bronx, Jacobi Medical Center, donated thousands of masks. And then we even drove to, I believe, New Jersey, the Clara Mosque, medical center and donated a few thousand masks as well. After that, I think because this is like whack-a-mole and this virus has a mind of its own, there was an outbreak, a very significant outbreak in Brooklyn Heights, downtown Brooklyn. And we went to New York Community Medical Center, well, the medical center in Brooklyn, and we donated thousands of masks. And our business partner, Johnny, who's been a pillar of the Chinese community down in Chinatown, told us that precinct number 5, the New York Police Department, precinct 5, was under-equipped. And just like our best in blue, the NYPD, they needed a Kevlar upgrade or a rifle upgrade or an ammunition upgrade. We gave them an upgrade to the tune of 1,000 masks because they were only using medical masks and we wanted them to be better protected. So a little long-winded, sorry, but that is what we did during crisis, and we are continuing to do more. Our last drop was just this past Wednesday, 2 days ago. The other locations said they were good on masks. The state and the government was giving them the proper amount of masks. So we went to the Charles B. Wang Community Health Center in 2 locations in Chinatown and 1 location in Flushing to donate another 1,600 masks to the Charles B. Wang Center, which is the largest Chinese health clinic in the Northeast.
And thank you, Saint, for that wonderful speech. Your hard work and donations will very much be appreciated. That's amazing. Just shows what UP stands for. And now we will have Arya to talk more about the reopening. Thank you, Arya. Thank you, Saint.
All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Araya. I'm the affiliate manager of Universal Processing. I'm in charge of the strategic partner channel along with the public relations. Well, today I'm going to talk about giving the small business owners some suggestions and tips whenever they are ready to reopen their business. So there are certain conditions and assumptions that must be met in order for a small business to safely reopen and maximize effectiveness. For the first one, all reopen plans have to be in accordance with New York state laws and new NYC laws. Governor Cuomo previously mentioned that there will be a 14 days interval between stages to ensure that the previous stage of resumption of work will not cause the coronavirus to spread. While the first type of work to resume is in constructions, manufacturing, supply industries, as well as some businesses that can pick up their own goods. And the second type of work to be resumed are enterprises that are including professional services, financial insurance, retail stores, administrative and real estate leasing enterprises. And the third type of the work yet to be resumed are enterprises that are including restaurants and catering hotels. And the fourth type of the work to be resumed including art, entertainment, leisure, and educations. So the businesses should monitor regulatory discussions such as daily briefings held by Governor Cuomo to receive firsthand insight of the policy dynamics. Next slide, please. So in order to reopen safety, businesses must place the safety of its customers and employees first. What I mean by reopening, it does not mean the business as usual. Extra precautions must be taken. So the businesses should evaluate their business models and determine appropriate ways to reopen. For example, for cafe and bubble tea shop, could really focus on some fast takeouts and add-on services, such as small bakery products, so they don't have to stay at the store. They can just take whatever they want and get it to go. And for restaurants, I think they should think of creating some new ideas on the menus, such as meal for one to help reduce the group of gatherings, especially for the Chinese restaurant owners. Chinese customers are used to be the idea of sharing food. So by simply adding a different way of eating, such as meal plan just for one, I believe there are more customers who would be willing to eat at their locations. And for nail salons and barbershop, especially for barbershops, I think for the quarantine time, it's almost been 2 months. And girls are really dying to get a haircut, to get some designing. And for guys, I guess they just have no idea like where to gonna get some haircuts. So by the time all the business resumed, so the barbershop probably gonna be the first one who get a crowd of people. So we have some recommended business follow these practices. First one is constant communications. It is really important to communicate the policies to customers so that they understand any precautionary requirements, such as wearing a mask, one-time use gloves, and eyewears like goggles, glasses, or some face shield. And the second one is social distancing. Then keep people at least 6 feet apart from each other, draw lines on the floor to demonstrate safe distances, and set up the store in a way to maximize exposed distance. And third one, sanitization. It's really important for sanitization. Well, all the equipment should be disinfected constantly, at least I think 2 to 3 times in a day. Employees must exercise sanitary behaviors such as having masks and gloves and washing hands when appropriate. And the fourth one I want to cover is the over interventions. So to the extent possible, business should promote appointment-based models. So you should limit the operating hours, remain some airflow within the space, and check temperatures for customers if possible. And next slide, please. So for small business must develop innovative strategies to attract customers. I have some ideas here. For the first one is giving gift cards. So the gift cards offer a discount could be a great way to attract customers. It creates immediate cash flow for the business and service can be delivered at a later date. So when customer feel safe to return. And the second one is for reward cards. Business can offer some reward cards, such as like a collection of 10 orders, which can be reimbursed to a free order. To further encourage customers, I think business could offer even like a 2 times, 3 times reward bonus during this reopen phase. And the third one is for the holiday marketing. As you all know, the Mother's Day is coming and Children's Day and Memorial Days. Business could developing a marketing campaigns targeted at early summer holidays for those holidays I just mentioned. And these holidays can drive sales for loved ones and can remind people to stay positive. And the fourth one is donations. So an overload of products that are not useful to a business could really be used in other ways, such as donating them to the customers who's in need, which will serve as an effective word of mouth marketing strategy and help those in need. And the next slide, please. What the last thing I want to talk about is to innovative ways to generate revenue, but it's also really important for business to think about reducing costs. So that's how universal processing can help. While UP holds great strength in making sure our customers are always available to contact us at any time, so universal processing's prioritize customers' relations and always stays in contact with our partners. Years of experience at UP, through many obstacles, universal processing has shown great care and trust when it comes to any situation because UP always finds a way to help, such as the time the fire disaster occurred in Australia or when the first cases occurred in Wuhan. UP always felt the needs and found a way to be involved through the donations and will still continue always showing the great effort. So to conclude the point I mentioned, I hope we can all move forward and things will get better. So now, thank you guys. I'll just have to handing the floor back to Sang.
Okay, yeah, Araya, that was great. Really appreciate your points. I hope there are merchants out there that appreciate it. in terms of reopening, I just wanted to give an overview of our reopening plan. First and foremost, I don't encourage anybody just to reopen because they feel like reopening. You should always listen to your local government, because although their implementation and their organization was a little slow, let's just be honest, a little slow in the beginning days of this coronavirus crisis, I think they, for the most part, have gotten their act together in most states. We are located out of a couple states, New York, Texas, California, and Pennsylvania, our newest Philly office. So we are going to cooperate with, we're going to cooperate and take advisement from local government officials. For example, in Texas, Governor Abbott had, he had declared Texas to be open as of May 1st for retail businesses. But we waited a couple days, made sure there were no additional outbreaks. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Texas office, I believe Texas office just started yesterday, the 7th. So we reopened only one day before the hair salons were opened. And we are a payment processing company. So I believe that, I mean, despite being a essential business, we are a lot more low risk than hair salons, where people are literally touching other people. So that said, I wish our Texas office a happy and successful reopening, as they reopened yesterday. For example, in California, Governor Newsom just announced that they're opening retail and manufacturing today in California. Of course, as an essential business that's been servicing thousands upon thousands nationwide of essential businesses, we service the restaurants that have been open. We service the liquor stores. We service grocery stores, delis, supermarkets, pharmacies, dentists, doctors, clinics. And during this time, banks were open, but we took the extra care to lock down and allow our U-peers to work from home much, much longer, and gave them much more considerate and humane working conditions. That said, in California, although Governor Newsom had opened up on May 8th, today, we had talked with our managers in California, and they believed that they wanted the extra day and the extra weekend to have their team settle down and get ready. So they're going to be opening on, I believe, the 11th, Monday the 11th. As for New York, New York's a little tricky. Governor Cuomo said that phase 1 of New York is going to be May 18th, where certain manufacturing, select retail businesses will be open. Of course, in New York, we're going to look at the trends, but I believe by May 18th, knock on wood, cross your fingers, I believe that we will have had the trend of declining numbers, less people getting sick for nearly or close to 1 month. And that will be a good time for us to welcome back our members. And by the way, I must say that even though we are an essential business, we are welcoming back our members on a volunteer basis. So thank you all, volunteers, for your efforts, your diligence. Your merchants out there need you. You know, back then, about a month ago, when the coronavirus was at its peak in New York, I believe that close to 75, even 80% of our merchants went dormant or even closed and did not operate their business. Fortunately, in these recent days, I would say close to 50% of our business owners are open, above and beyond the essential businesses that were open. So we're getting ready. We're reactivating, already reactivated in Texas. We're ready to go in California. And in a little over a week, if all things stay good, we are going to open in New York. And then after that, we're going to discuss plans for the Philly office as well. Didn't forget about you guys, Philly office. So yeah.
So I think now we're at the question and answer. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to ask and we can answer in the chat.
Okay, let's start with the questions. Who's handles questions? All right, do you want to take questions or are we just taking questions?
There's the first question, do you think it's better to reopen my restaurant right after the lockdown is over or wait? Well, that's a really tricky question because I think if it really depends on where your restaurant located. If it's in New York City, I think the lockdown is resumed by May 18th. But as what I just mentioned earlier, for restaurant, I think it's the stage 3. And each stage there's like a 14 days separating. So I guess from 18th to the stage 3, it has to be over a month. So what I'm thinking, if your restaurant is located in New York City, it might be a good idea opening maybe the early June or in the middle of June. That's probably the better option. And right now, if you still want to make some, still like keep your shop open and doing some business, you can have the option of doing some online ordering. And Universal Processing, we actually providing a free website designing for our customers. And also we can help you to do some menu input to help you to set up the gateway on your websites. So that way you can still keep your business open and do some online ordering and takeout food service.
Great. Like Araya said, I think the most important thing is to trust your local officials, listen to the governor of your state, and make that decision based on your comfort and the comfort of your employees. But first and foremost, what the political figures say, what the leaders say. All right, I'll take the next one, I guess. Let's see. What do you think is the most important principle for a leader when facing a national crisis like this? I would say the most important principle for a leader is to maintain integrity. There's a saying that people show their true colors in times of crisis. And I believe that I put my best foot forward as a leader and I showed my true colors. First and foremost, like I said in the beginning, our company is about people before profits. So we took a look at our team and we made sure that everybody on our team who wanted to be out of the office, we got them out of the office. About 90% of our people opted to work from home, and a handful of people opted to work out of our headquarters and our regional offices for a few days after that until lockdown. So we took care of our people. Then after that, we took care of our merchants, and then we took care of society as a whole. So integrity, being true to yourself, and in a sense, being selfless, thinking about everybody else, because by helping the people around us, by helping the merchants at large, hopefully when things get better, the people that we help will remember that and they'll take care of us in turn. Next one.
I guess I'll handling the next questions. I noticed you provide free help to small businesses. How can I get that? If I'm not your clients, can I still get help and free services? Well, that answer will be yes, because we've been helping a lot of customers, or not the customers for Universal Processing. We've been helping them to applying for the loans, business loans, and the paycheck protection programs, and giving out some free marketing materials. And if you have any questions, you can see the last slide. There's a QR code. You can always just scan the QR code, and our marketing team are more than happy to help you with anything you have.
Absolutely, great answer, Araya. Yeah, we do help out small businesses. As long as any business has reached out to us, we have done our very best to supply them with whatever they need. Sometimes it's information, Sometimes they want some software or technology advice, and we help them with the software technology. Obviously, if it's software technology that goes on our system, works with our processing, we prefer that the customers that we help eventually become our clients, but we're here to help out everybody that needs help, because as a principal, if you can feed yourself, if you're safe, if your loved ones are safe, then my belief is that it's time to look around, see who needs help, and reach out and assist them if you can. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Anything? Okay, I wanted just to take the last couple moments and read a couple of quotes that I found to be inspirational. Obviously, it's been a rough near almost 2 months in the United States, and I had my own adventures, I had my own experiences, and I had my own thoughts. But I looked back, I looked at literature, I looked online and found these. A couple things. The first one, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. That's from Helen Keller, a famous female author who is deaf and blind, and she was an activist. She went out and spoke for women's rights and the right for women to vote. And I really believe that's exactly correct. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. A lot of people in the US and worldwide during this pandemic, instead of going out, facing this head on, and treating life as an adventure, it was absolutely nothing but misery. And then, sitting at home feeling sorry for themselves. I see a lot of people complaining on social media. I see a lot of people acting entitled, as if saying, why is this happening to me? Whereas I personally believe this is an opportunity. This is a crisis. This is a time to show your best self, to be better than you were normally, and to shine. So that's the quote from Helen Keller. The next one that I saw that I felt was inspirational was from Mark Twain. He said that the fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Now, while we were out at Elmhurst, it was scary. There were frozen body trucks out there. There were people, ambulances left and right. And it only got worse when we went to a hospital like the one in Brooklyn. I even have friends who are Marines in the military. They said, I saw your video. Why did you even go in the hospital? That's so risky. You're risking your life. And I said, you know what? These people, they need our help. The frontline healthcare workers, they're giving their lives, they're giving their all every single day. I may be a CEO of a company, but I'm a person and they need my help. And this is the best thing I can do, is to deliver ammunition to the frontline healthcare workers of the US. So I'm not afraid, because I've lived a very good life and I live my best life. So I have no fears of death. So that's Mark Twain, a very influential author from the 1800s. And last but not least, I want to leave you guys with a quote from Albert Einstein, the father of the atomic bomb, but also he studied and developed the theory of special relativity. Albert Einstein, one of the smartest men in human history, said, only a life lived for others is worthwhile. And I just want to say that universal processing and every single thing we're about is about helping society as a whole. I quit a very lucrative job that probably would have given me the same or better lifestyle, instead to start a small business to help out other small businesses, to help out women-owned businesses, to help out minority-owned businesses, to help out LGBTQ-owned businesses, and just to reach out and help businesses that weren't being properly represented and properly supported by the big processing companies out there that treat small businesses as nothing but a figure. nothing but a number, nothing but a dollar input. We treat small businesses for the people they are. We support small businesses nationwide. We support the brave entrepreneurs who, like me, they gave up everything to follow an idea that they believed in, and they're out there building their business, supporting America. So for everybody who's listening, all of you, we have a tough road ahead of us, and America's been through a lot through its 200 something years, and probably hasn't been through something this serious in over 100 of those years. But together, if we help each other, if we put our best foot forward, if we live life one day at a time, and if we are strong, I believe we'll make it through this stronger than ever before. So everybody, thank you for taking your Friday afternoon out. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your questions. We appreciate your input. Much appreciated, everybody. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay safe.
Stay strong.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Sang.
Thank you, Say. Thank you, Raya.
No problem.
Yuki.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.